So I started messing around with Yoru recently, and I discovered he's actually not as bad as people think he is.
Anytime I'd see a Yoru in my game, I'd honestly think he was thrown. Most of the time after my teammate had picked Yoru, I'd probably just leave the game or complain the entire game because he'd probably be bottom fragging. And I think that's probably just the stigma behind all Yoru players. Anytime a Yoru would join a pro lobby, they'd have the exact same reaction. Not many people think he's good, and a lot of the people that do think he's good are bad at the game and can't unleash his potential. Now who the fuck am I to tell you about Yoru? Honestly, literally nobody. I'm a hard stuck gold 1, who's been playing him exclusively for probably about a week now. I will say though, a lot of the things that I've learned are from people who are actually credible. People like Ethos, Ziptie, Kyo, just to name a few, are all top creators that I've seen play this character to his full potential. I really can't stress enough how average I am at this game. If you really don't want to hear my point of view on things, you literally do not have to watch my video. That you will not learn anything that you haven't learned if you've looked up any of these top creators. The point of this video isn't to actually teach you anything. This isn't a skill-capped pro guides. Like, I'm not gonna teach you anything. I'm literally hard stuck gold. We've been over this. But it's just another point of view of a character that I don't think sees enough attention. Whenever I go to a player in this game, and I ask for their opinion on this character, they either say he's really bad, or they say he's underrated, but I still don't like him. The players that play this character are playing it either just to have fun, because he's a fun character, or because they really aren't trying. That's the entire demographic of what this character brings. He's a duelist with 2 flashes. Phoenix brings that to the table and more, and he can heal himself. He has an ultimate ability that's way better than Yoru's, so literally there is no reason to pick Yoru over Phoenix. Yoru also isn't a free character. So most of the world agrees he's kind of a waste of a pick on a roster. This video really isn't to teach you anything, like I said. It's more of just a different perspective. And I think the 2 perspectives that we have of Yoru right now of either he's bad or he's got a little potential are really lazy opinions that just shows how much little effort people are willing to put in to trying and make a bad character good. Now if you're still watching, you either don't give a fuck about what my rank is to hear my opinion, or you're just secretly making fun of me inside of your head. Either way, you're still watching, cool. I want to talk about his abilities really quickly. Obviously I've vocalized I think they're pretty underrated, but I want to go in more depth on why. His footsteps are really not looked into a lot. I think people don't use his footsteps correctly in a lot of scenarios. Obviously, your fake footsteps are completely an audio thing. You want people to think that somebody's going somewhere that they're actually not. And a mistake that I see is people putting them in places where the enemy can see them. Obviously, they're going to know it's a fake footstep if they can literally see the fake footsteps. But doing things like putting them in front of Killjoy turrets so that the Killjoy turret goes off and they think you're going a certain site, or doing it behind a smoke, or doing it behind a wall, something that makes the enemy think that there's somebody there when there's not. Because if you do it behind a wall, behind a smoke, doing it in front of a Killjoy turret, a lot of the times they're a little too far away to hear that it's a fake footstep, because his fake footsteps make a different noise than actual footsteps. Like, I don't really know how to describe it, but compared to normal footsteps, the Yoru footsteps are just like more wet. It sounds like he's like running in mud. I don't really know. If you play the game long enough, you know what I'm talking about. Let's talk about his flashes. His flashes got buffed to the point where they can't see you throwing the flash, they only see it after it's bounced off of a wall. If you play the game, this is common knowledge. But it just goes to show how bad he actually was before he got buffed several times. By the time that you see the flash coming off of the wall, you're already blind. You're already staring at the sun. It's the same with breach flashes and phoenix flashes, in that sense. But it's also like Reyna flashes where you can choose where to put the flashes. There's so many creative ways that you can angle the flash to not flash your teammates but still flash the enemy, which is really hard in gold lobby. I find that a lot of flashes just get used as soon as the gate drops in the beginning of the round, and the only people that they actually blind are our teammates. Anyway, flashes aside, let's talk about his teleport.
you have a little teleport icon that you can either put in place or move forward. This teleport has unlimited range, right? You can put it anywhere across the map. This makes it to where if you're in danger, in a gunfight, whatever, and you know you're not gonna win, you can literally just leave. Especially if you have Spike and you're in like a team fight or something. You can just push a site, and if it doesn't work out, right, you can just leave with the Spike and go plant B, and then wait for your teammates to rotate, and then you literally just like have a free site. Especially now that you can use it with his ult, it just makes information gathering so much easier. Like, you can set a teleport down next to your team pushing a site, you go in with your ult, you tell everybody where the enemy team is, and because they can't actually see you, they're not gonna move because they don't think they've been discovered yet, unless they have brains, which most people in my elo don't have brains. And then you get a free few kills. This ability's a little weird. Obviously, we have the teleporter combo that I talked about, but it's really good, like his teleport, and just escaping situations. If you saw in the first clip of this video, I used it to escape a pinch that I was in. I was in a 1v2, I was stunned by a breach, I was in sight, and I just ulted and I got out and went to the other side. They rezzed, making it a 1v3, which made things tougher, but I still got out with my life. If I hadn't have ulted there, I probably would have lost the round. Now you could say Omen ult does the same thing, which you're completely right, that is true. But I think having the ability to change where I'm going with my ultimate instead of being stuck to whatever I selected on the map is really important. If I was in a different scenario where I knew that there was one guy on the site with me and I just assumed his teammates were rotating and I teleported to the other side and there's just a shitterbot killjoy with a Bucky in a random corner, like normal gold elo things, I would have died. But because I Yoru ulted out, I can see what I'm walking into and still have the luxury of going onto a free site. Now, if there was just a little rat hiding in a corner, I probably would have lost, even with Yoru ult because of my HP. But there were only 2 guys left, I know where both of them were, so I was fine. All of that being said, especially after like the 7 buffs that he's received, Yoru really is not that bad of a character. Like I've said time and time again, I'm sure you're done hearing me say it. But he's not bad. I will say, I think he's a lot worse the higher elo you go up, because you get used to the sounds that his abilities make. He becomes more predictable, and there are just better agents to play. But in my elo, and in my experience, he's actually really good. And if there's one thing that I want you to take away from this video, I guess, if you're a shitter like I am, Yoru's the character for you.
So bad.
Hey, my Siege broke. I literally can't run Rainbow Six Siege anymore on my computer, or else it'll just shut my computer off. I took a break from YouTube mainly because of this reason. For almost 2 years now, I've been trying to figure out why I can't play Siege. I've asked multiple people that know a lot more about computers than I do. I've asked people that used to work at Dell. I've gone around and tried to find a fix for a while now, and I can't find anything. So the Siege content that you see on my channel is probably the last content you'll ever see, which sucks because it's my favorite game. And I'd probably be doing nothing but that game with my life if I could play it, but I can't. Also, the last 3 videos on my channel are about 1.5 years old. I made them a while back. So changes in my voice, editing style, and the most prominent thing, the game that I play, is going to be different. A lot of things are going to be different. So I hope I can understand. There's not much really that I can do about it. And I'm kind of just having to improvise a lot of what I want to do.